So I'm back at my spot where I was a few weeks ago, I think like a month ago now actually. I have mask lines on my face as usual. I went to get my thyroid scanned and to have my first mammogram, even though it's early and I'm younger than the recommended age, but that pain that led me to the doctors in the first place last year is back. It hasn't ever really gone away. It comes and goes. It might be muscular. It might not be muscular. So this was like one of the last tests that I would be getting done before seeking out another method. Like if it's not breast related, it maybe is orthopedic related, but that's the first doctor I went to who recommended that I look at my breasts. So I don't know at this point. I'm thinking trying another orthopedic or mentioning it to the doctor when I go about my bone issue, which is what they did find when all this happened. So I have a follow-up with the orthopedic in January for the arm situation to make sure that it is still just an enchondroma and not something that has changed. But I don't know, the pain comes and goes, mostly if I lift heavy things, but also like just at random, and I haven't matched it to my cycles in any way, so that's the first thing. I've been doing all the recommended supplements that the breast specialist recommended, like vitamin E and stuff like that, so I don't know, it could be hormonal, it could not be hormonal, it could be something else, and I'm really hoping it's not something else, but a mammogram was recommended since it's been a year, and the aching still comes and goes, so that's what we did this morning and got my thyroid scanned. I am covered in ultrasound jelly. My hair is full of stuff. I'm gonna have to wash it tonight, but I'm gonna go to work now, and I have my donut because I guess that's the thing we do now. In this area, there's not much for me to eat that is of a morning type meal. I don't really want eggs because I had eggs last night for dinner, so I don't really want eggs for breakfast too. So it's gonna be an old-fashioned donut day again, and then I'm gonna head into work. I have my own coffee that I brought, so I didn't have to spend money on coffee. At least I just spent like $1 something on the donut. But I'm really hoping that they don't find anything. I'd rather, you know, get all the tests done and find nothing, because that's the best case scenario. I'm worried about my thyroid scan. I've also been having like achy pains here, but I have TMJ. That's why I went to get that scanned in the first place. Because I have TMJ. Sometimes it feels like my lymph nodes are a little swollen, and I can't tell if it's related or something else that's going on. None of my other tests show anything. So yeah, I have results for 2 tests that should be coming within a few days, and I'm really hoping that there's nothing there, because if there is, that's a whole other kettle of fish to deal with. I had a lot of medical issues last year that I had to deal with, and I don't know, I don't want to go there right now. I really hope that there's nothing. And so yeah, that's my week. I have to edit last week's video sometime this week, because that one turned out longer than I expected, because I talked a lot. That seems to be a pattern lately. So yeah, gonna eat my donut and head into work. I look a little wild right now, but I just wanted to add this to the vlog because as someone who suffers from chronic migraines, I'm always looking for something that can alleviate that pain, and green glasses have helped. I found some studies on green wavelength lights, and there's an alley lamp that I think was produced by someone from Harvard or something like that, that I've been seeing for a while. And then there's like knockoffs of it as well. So there's all these lamps and light bulbs that are green, and they supposedly block like all green and blue. I think maybe also some other wavelengths of light, and are supposed to be very helpful for people with migraines. So I've been looking into that, and I'm thinking of purchasing some of the light bulbs and putting them like in my room, in the living room and stuff. But I saw the glasses, and then there was like a version of the glasses that was like a premium brand. It was more expensive. And then there were these, which were, I think, $9. at most, somewhere between $6.99 and $8.99, somewhere around there. And I thought, well, what do I really have to lose? It's just a pair of cheap glasses. If they don't work, well, it didn't work. I'll try something else. But I bought these and I've used them a few times now, and I think it works. I woke up this morning, I wouldn't say it works for like heavy migraine, but like there's some times where I'm somewhere in between prodrome and like mild migraine, where it's like it wants to be a migraine and it's just the beginning of a migraine, which is early enough to maybe get under control. Sometimes there's nothing that will get them under control, but it's at that like beginning stage, very mild to beginning to be bothersome, but still functional in my day-to-day life. And this is actually helping. I will find a link and pop them down below, but it's one of those really random things that I just thought might as well give it a try. And much like my Zoke, which is the little like ear pressure thingy that looks like an old-fashioned ear trumpet in my opinion, that has helped too. So like every so often there are these things that look completely like just like how would that work, and they do. So green glasses, who knew? They actually help. If you have migraines or know someone who suffers from migraines, give it a try. I recommend it. Like I said, it's not going to take care of a full-blown like attack, but if it's early stage, I knew yesterday that I was getting prodrome. I could feel it in my body, and this morning I had like a little bit of the ache in the back of my neck, so I took like one Tylenol just because I didn't really, I've been trying to lay off the Advil. It's the thing that works the most for me, but it has been affecting my kidneys. It definitely has been causing like edema and issues like that. So I took one like arthritis Tylenol to see if it would at least help the cervical neck pain. Always knowing that sometimes it doesn't do anything. Sometimes even like taking the full-blown like 3 or 4 Advil dose doesn't do anything either. But yeah, it was like, hey, my green glasses, let me pop them on. It helps. So I've been thinking of trying to do like a video on all of my weird non-medical or non-medicine, I should say, things that make the migraines manageable. Let me know if you're interested in that. I might do it if I, can put them all together and come up with something to talk about. But yeah, I've actually got a few things that work, and these green glasses are the latest thing that actually has been helping. So if you're a migrainer, you know that you're willing to try everything because the pain is just unbearable sometimes, but these are helping. I'll see if, I can see the clouds from where I'm sitting. I can tell that this is going to be an air pressure migraine. Yeah, so just, an idea to share. And I'll try to remember to pop it down below. If I don't, and you're watching this and I didn't, let me know. Drop a comment down below and I'll find it. So I'll check in later. Hey guys, so it's Sunday and I'm wearing what I think of as I had a rough night eye patches. These are like a very generic gold collagen eye mask that I get from Amazon in like a gigantic pack. And I like to put these in the freezer for mornings just like this, or should I say afternoon. Like it is almost noon. I woke up at 10:30 through no fault of my own, at least. Apparently there is a rave scheduled for 3 nights. I only heard it last night, about 5 miles away from me. There's a truck coming. But the noise is just that loud and carries all the way to my town, which is the town over from where the thing is happening. And it is just such an insane amount of noise. People in like my whole town were complaining about it. I've been up since like 2 a.m. writing letters to local government because I just think if I can hear this, and it literally sounds like there is a, like when you have like a very loud house party or a car with like a subwoofer just like playing like extremely loud music like right outside your window, like that's what it sounds like, but it's 5 miles away. And it's not like the area where it's happening does not have neighborhoods around it. It is very much a residential area. Like in the middle of the night, I just started thinking like my grandfather used to live there. Like his home has people in it now. Like my aunt is renting that house out to people. Like there's at least 3 families because it's like a triplex. It's not a duplex. It's got 3 homes. There's people who live there. There are people with kids. There are families. There are people who have to get up and work. And there's another night of this nonsense scheduled to happen tonight, Sunday into Monday. Apparently, the city gave this organizer a permit to have an outdoor rave with no noise control at all. So nobody can do anything about it. And the noise literally travels into the next town over. And I'm sure it's traveling into the other towns. Like, we are not the only town in this area. I'm sure that north of us, north of that venue, there's people hearing it too. But I genuinely could not sleep. I wore my earplugs, and I have like quality earplugs. I have them here by the bed. These are loop earplugs. These are designed for extremely high noises. I bought them, basically they're noise canceling earplugs. And with these in, with the air conditioner running, even though I'm cold, I ran the air conditioner just to make the noise, with my air filter running on high, also just for the noise, and a black background like white noise video running on my iPad, I could still hear it, and it almost felt like my heart was keeping time. Why? Who's knocking? Amazon delivery. Christmas present for someone has just arrived. So as I was saying, like it almost felt like my heart was keeping time with the thumping. I put on my Fitbit, and I'm out of breath because like when I've had a rough night, it causes migraines, and I could start to feel it happening. And my heartbeat, I put on my Fitbit, it was running at like almost the speed I get to when I'm like taking a jog, just because my body was like, I don't know, like I guess the noise and the thumping and the vibrations, because like literally it was vibrating, was making my heart just like speed up so much faster. It was crazy. I started thinking about like, you know, because I actually am an empathetic person. So I started thinking like, if I can hear this and I'm 5 miles away, there are hundreds of homes on the other side in the next town over. There are apartment buildings with hundreds of families in them. There are houses, townhouses, and it's an older population. It's the city where my mom lives, but she lives on the west end instead of the east end. I could not imagine my mother and my grandmother who has Alzheimer's like being near that level of noise. It was just entirely unacceptable. Like, I live in Miami. I know there are party areas, but like usually those party areas are like way out by the beach. You know, there are areas that have noise ordinances for these events. We have like the Ultra Music Festival that happens every year in downtown Miami, but like nobody really stays in that area after a certain hour. Tourists do, and like the occasional rich person who can afford to live there, but like nobody lives in downtown Miami, guys. Like it's not an area that the average Miamian can like afford to live in. But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I remember my boyfriend used to work in downtown Miami, and when Ultra would be hosted, it's I think getting hosted somewhere else now. Basically everybody knew you got to get out by like 5 p.m. You didn't want to be there. Yeah, it's like basically like running a music festival in the middle of a residential area. There's so many people that live around there, and it's like touted as like, well, this is being held in the warehouse district. It's like, yeah, but the warehouse district is in the middle of this entire like low-income community that lives there. Like, come on, don't be an asshole. So, I don't know, language, I don't know, I don't usually curse in these, but there you go. Yeah, I mean, I just think if I couldn't sleep, I was up all night like seeing people posting about it on like the local Nextdoor page, which I only go on when like I find a lost dog or something, but I was like, who else is complaining about this? And it was just, yeah, so many people talking about how like their kids couldn't sleep and they've got like impact windows and they could still hear the noise. Usually, if you don't know, if you don't live in a hurricane prone area, impact windows usually result in dead silence. Like they are soundproof. People could hear it either way. They could feel the vibrations. Like there was one person who lived closer to the other end of town saying that like a glass of water was shaking on their bedside table, like that, with every reverberation, like the glass of water would shake. Actually, my hand is shaking, so apologies about that. I see it happening. So I'm gonna get started on my day. I am writing again. I have to post last month's vlog, which I had some trouble uploading. That's why it's super late. And try to get back to having a regular routine, and you know, I haven't blogged in forever since everything happened, so I'm trying to get back to normal, and this is part of that. So I don't know how today's gonna go. I'm tired. We're recording the last podcast episode today. I think it's the last one. I think we have one more like finale that we're doing, but we're wrapping up the podcast after 4 years. So that's happening today, if it's not noisy. And it's supposed to be running until 3 a.m. tonight. I really am just hoping that it's not as noisy. Like the noise last night was just on another level. Like people are saying they heard the noise on Thursday and Friday. I did not. But last night, like everybody could hear that noise. It was just incredibly loud. And there are videos of what was happening on Instagram. So like, yeah, it was a full-blown like music festival style concert, like with fireworks and all kinds of stuff. Like it's way too loud for an area that has so many families living in it. So yeah, hoping something can be done. I know that I've been, right, like I said, writing to local government officials. I already got one response from a county commissioner saying that they're looking into it and have their legal teams looking into it too, because it's like, seriously, no noise control in the middle of an entire city of homes? Like, come on. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to writing today. I finally started reading my draft, and I feel like every time I look at the draft, I just want to rewrite so much. And I know that it's just the curse of, I wouldn't say being a perfectionist, but like wanting to do better. So like every time I read it, I'm like, well, I can improve this. I can make this better. And I know that will never leave. I know that like authors who have published their books like will say that they can't read their books because they feel that urge coming back. I know this has to be the last time. And it's mostly proofreading and sentence level like improvements at this point. I have told myself that unless something drastic pops out at me, I'm not making any major changes to anything. Like we're not moving scenes, we're not doing any of that mess at this point, because that would just lead to another extensive rewrite / revision round. We are not there. We have to move forward, because if we just keep re-editing, the thing will never see the light of day. So this is the last round. Trying to give myself a deadline of, you know, like at least maybe halfway through by the end of December, maybe all the way through if I can swing it. But I'm going to do things a little differently and do like 2 chapters, read 2 chapters, edit them, read 2 chapters, edit them, to try to just keep things moving instead of trying to read the whole thing and then, you know, like transcribe the whole thing into the actual document. So that's the plan. I think it'll work. I hope it'll work. And I hope I can start querying maybe in January. I had lost all of November. November was just a bust. Like nothing happened. There was no writing. My emotional state, my mental state, we were just not there. So it's kind of almost like trudging back into this territory that I've not been in for a while. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I'm still waiting for those ultrasound results for my thyroid. Still haven't gotten any word on that, so that's still at the back of my mind, like, what's going on there? I hope it's nothing, but you know, if you've ever had an ultrasound done, you know that like sometimes when they start clicking around too much, you're like, what do you see? You know, do you see something? Is that something? Is this normal? Is this regular procedure, or is this like just a standard procedure? Maybe this is just health anxiety. Maybe it's just people with health anxiety who feel this way. But yeah, so I'm gonna maybe check in with you guys later. Maybe not. I don't know. So if this ends here, have a great rest of your week. If it doesn't, see you later. Maybe. We'll see.